action. Any action. Any action.
SportsCast. I'm your producer Martin, joined by your local Las Vegas handicappers, Effie.
What is up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Any Action Sportscast. We're here to preview UFC Vegas 48, Johnny Walker versus Jamahal Hill. It's your boy Effie and my producer Martin on the ones and twos.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the number one sportscast in the world. Another great UFC weekend. Can't wait to recap it. Effie, what are your thoughts?
Dude, plus 2.76 units. Our podcast makes profit again. Our lock of the night hits again. And still, Israel Adesanya defends his belt against Robert Whittaker. Man, a great event. Where do we begin? First of all, our bets. We went 4-2? Our only losses coming off just terrible, really crazy knockouts. Derek Lewis gets absolutely ended by Tai Tuivasa with a short elbow along the cage. Didn't see that coming. I thought, Derek had him out in the first round. But, Tai Tuivasa has that god chin. We lost that, and we also lost the first bet of the night, Sergey Morozov. After dropping DeAndre De Silva in the first round, he gets choked out, finished, dropped, I think, twice or three times in the second round. Just a crazy back-and-forth fight. Just, one of those fights where you'll remember forever because those are the real bad beats. But other than that, man, we killed it. Andre Arlovsky killed it for us. Bobby Green killed it for us. And Israel Adesanya, dude, came through. We actually hit a parlay. Our full send parlay hit again, or not again, hit for the first time. Carlos Ulberg hit. Jeremiah Wells hit. And Izzy topped it off to finish the night. So it's always good when you have, a last leg on the last fight of the night. But I do say, I gotta think, I was surprised to see how many people out there scored the main event for Robert Whittaker. To say that he won 3 rounds out of those 5 rounds, I was a little surprised. I think you could definitely, obviously he run round 5. No doubt, no question that round's for Rob. But, round 4, I could see maybe we'll give it in for Rob. But to me, other than that, I thought it was clear that Izzy won. I had no, worry when the cards came in. Other than if that guy, Robert Alexander, was on the cards. Because if the guy that was scoring the Roxanne Modafferi and Casey O'Neill fight was on the cards for that Izzy fight, we'd be sitting here and knew. Because that guy is blind. Robert Alexander scored the Casey O'Neill fight for Roxanne, and I just can't see how that is possible. I can't see how that person is working for the UFC, getting paid by a state commission to ref MMA or judge MMA fights. I was shocked at that. I think live, I was hanging out, we were here watching the fights with producer Martin, and he even said to me, Roxanne might have won round 2. And I looked at him and I was like, are you serious? Are you crazy? I had people texting me, was that a 10-8 round for Casey O'Neill? I didn't think it was a 10-8 round, but I was like, what? I was surprised to hear Martin say that. And sure enough, she wins a card. She wins a judge's scorecard. And that, I think I was stunned. For all I know, Robert Alexander scored World War II for the Germans. That guy just should not be scoring anything anywhere near cage for the rest of his life. And I'm glad they pulled him from the card, I think, after that, because I think Anik mentioned he was on another fight, and after that, they pulled him. They actually had one of that ref that tucks in his beard. He was actually judging by the end of the night because they kicked that guy out. But with that, we'll go ahead and start capping our Vegas 48 card. We have a few bets, I'll say it outright, Martin. I don't know if anyone wants to say it out there, but this card sucks. This card straight up sucks. No name value, nothing. Other than Jim Miller, the main event, is pretty good, should deliver. But other than that, we have a short notice co-main. We have a heavyweight sloppy, non-UFC caliber on the main card fight, or main card. It's just ugly, man. Ugly. Especially when you have the main event that was supposed to be fire, Rafael Fiziev versus RDA as a main event, 5 rounds for this card. It really takes away some of the thunder, some of the steam. But luckily that fight got moved to the next pay-per-view here in Vegas. So me and producer Martin will actually get to go to that press conference and see what the Rafaels have to say to each other. But we're going to go ahead and start by talking about the Johnny Walker, Jamahal Hill main event. Now, the line currently sits Jamahal Hill minus 250, Johnny Walker plus 210. Now, I think Jamahal is a better fighter here. I will say this though, Martin. At one point, I was real high on Johnny Walker. I thought Johnny Walker was gonna make a run for the belt. Oh, he was just so flashy getting these crazy knockouts, and then boom, he hits a skid, and it just has not been the same ever since he did that worm and separated his shoulder celebrating a fight. He has just been bodied. He has shown to have maybe a little bit of a chin problem. Jamahal Hill's 3-1-1 in his last five fights. And I don't know if you remember, but he got his arm like straight snapped against Paul Craig, the Bear Jew. And he didn't even tap. That's how tough this guy is. This guy, and the way he fights, I think is a real bad matchup for Johnny Walker here. I actually do have action on Jamahal Hill. He's in a parlay. That's how confident I feel about this pick. I think he's going to end Johnny Walker in this fight. I don't think it goes to the cards. I think if you look at the stats, Johnny Walker, I mean, he's good. Like, don't get me wrong. He's a good striker and everything. But between both these guys, Jamahal Hill is 9-1. Johnny Walker is 18-6. They have combined one takedown, Martin. Like, that's crazy. This is going to be a stand-up, straight banger. And I do think Jamal's a better striker here, so that's why I do favor him to knock out Johnny Walker. He's going to put out more volume, and I think the pace is going to give him real problems. Not to mention, I think Johnny Walker's at one of the worst gyms you could be, SBG Ireland. I mean, everyone knows that's where Conor goes, but other than Conor, their gym sucks. If you watched the Santos versus Walker fight, the advice they were giving him in between rounds was terrible. It was a close fight, and they were telling him just to feint, just to stay, like, not push the pace. When really, that's, if he would have done that, he probably would have came away with the decision, but he lost. So I like Jamahal Hill. I like Jamahal Hill big here, -250. I can see that line moving. I can already see some -275s at some books, but we're gonna put him on a parlay. And the second leg of that parlay is actually the next fight, Martin. We have Kyle Daukaus versus Jamie Pickett. Now, this is a short notice fight for Jamie Pickett. We actually covered a Jamie Pickett fight recently when he fought Holmes, and I didn't bet on Pickett. Or actually, I did sprinkle some, like, I think a quarter unit on him last second. He was an underdog. He ended up cashing as an underdog now. He's a contender, Dana White Contender Series guy. Not to me, he's never going to be top 15. Nothing special. A solid UFC fighter, but never going to be anything. Never going to make a run. I mean, that sounds harsh, but Kyle Daukaus, on that hand, I think can be a top 15, top 10 guy one day. And so the line currently sits Kyle Daukaus -210, Jamie Pickett, the underdog, +180. Like I said, it's a short notice fight, and this actually will be at a catch weight, 195, because I guess apparently there was no way Jamie Pickett could make the 185 limit. So they went and said, go ahead and make it 195. And Kyle Daukaus said, okay, that's fine. Now for this, it's just hard for me to see a path of victory for Jamie Pickett. I think Kyle Daukaus will either win a dominant decision here or submit Jamie. I think the striking is pretty even, but what really sticks out to me in this, and what gives Kyle an advantage here in the striking, is Jamie just doesn't throw, man. Like, his volume is real low. I mean, he has the attributes to be a good striker. He has a lot. I think he has a longer reach here, and just has a nice frame for the division, but he just doesn't throw enough. And in the grappling, especially, he's not the better grappler here. I think Kyle Daukaus will ragdoll him up against the cage, get him down. And like I said, I think he wins a dominant decision here, or he submits him second or third round. After that, we won't have any action on the Parker Porter-Allen Baudot fight. Now, Martin, there's a few guys in the UFC that are just straight in the UFC because they're friends of certain fighters. Like that guy last week, Blood Diamond. He should not be in the UFC. He's in the UFC because he's at City Kickboxing with Izzy. I mean, if you watch that fight, it's clear that he has no mixed martial arts experience. He's just a pure kickboxer. I mean, fuck. Jeremiah Wells started the fight by running around in a circle and fell down, and he still lost the fight, dude. It was amazing to watch. But Alan Baudot is a sparring partner of Cyril Gane. He's from the MMA factory over there in France, and he's also not UFC caliber. He, to me, is probably the worst heavyweight in the division. I know last week we talked about Fabio Charant being the worst light heavyweight, and I think in this week we have Baudot, the worst heavyweight. And Parker Porter is good. He's nothing special, like I said, or he's nothing special in my eyes. I don't think he'll ever make a run, but I do think he has the skills to beat Allen, especially if this gets to the ground. Allen's a pure, like, Muay Thai fighter, and if he gets down, he's not going to get up here. And Parker, is not known like some sort of wrestler or anything, but, like, if he finds himself there, I feel like he's screwed. So, barring a crazy first round knockout, I think Allen's going to lose, and I'm not, like I said, I don't have any action, but Parker Porter might be a safe bet here, considering how bad I view Allen. It's more of a fade on Allen than it is supporting Parker, much like the Arlovsky bet last week. After that, we will have action on the next fight. Jim Miller, the UFC veteran, against Nikolas Motta. Now, Jim Miller, bro, is 33-16. Nikolas Motta is 12-3. and the guy that's 12-3 is the favorite. Nikolas Motta is minus 165, and Jim Miller is plus 135. Now, that to me is a little strange. When a guy has such a clear experience advantage, man, I just don't see how you could take your money to the window and feel confident in that. I get it. This guy's younger. He has pop in his hands. He has power for sure. But he's coming off a Dana White Contender Series decision win where Dana White was like, he kind of gave him some harsh criticism. He was like, hey man, like, you didn't do enough, but we think you could be good. But like, he sort of got lucky that we're giving this contract, and hopefully that motivates Nikolas Motta to go out and put on a show, because I think he's gonna knock out Jim Miller. I actually have action on Nikolas Motta, minus 165. Now, Jim Miller has not won a fight via decision since 2016. All right, and so it's been 7 years or 6 years. If he wins a decision here, I'll be shocked. So I think a safe bet, which is another bet we have, is that this fight doesn't go the distance, Martin. In all 4 losses of Nikolas Motta's career, in the 3 losses, he's gotten finished. And like I just said, Jim Miller hasn't won a decision in 7 years, 8 years. And so if he wins, he's probably going to win by a finish. If Nikolas Motta loses, he's probably going to lose by a finish. And I think Nikolas Motta can knock out Jim Miller. And so I think second round Nikolas Motta knockout, not going to touch the over-under, but I do feel confident that this fight does not reach the cards and that Nikolas Motta wins. Dude, after that is a pure banger. I know I was shooting on the card earlier, but this next fight is... someone is getting slept. Do you know how we were so certain in the Tai Tuivasa Derek Lewis fight that someone's going to get slept? It's likewise for this. I think the fight doesn't go the distance in this fight. Is like minus 600. I'm talking about Joaquin Buckley versus Abdul Hassan Razak. Or Razak Hassan. It's a crazy name. So Joaquin Buckley, Martin, you probably know, is a famous guy that caught Impa Kasaganai's kick and then did a spinning kick and knocked him out. It was like the most viral knockout 2 years ago. That's him. And he's a finisher, man. He just cracks people. He has crazy power for the division. He's actually a little bit short for the division, but he has crazy pop. But he's fighting the one guy that has like Francis Ngannou power for this division. Abdul Hassan either gets knocked out like in the second and third round, or he finishes you in the first round. Martin, he's 12-3, and he has 12 first-round knockouts. If you look at his record, first-round knockout, loss. Well, actually, he's 1-4 in his last. He's actually on a bad run right now, but his wins all come via knockout. And so I actually like him in this fight. Not that I think he's, a crazy better fighter than Joaquin Buckley. The odds currently sit Buckley minus 150, Abdul plus 125. And I think that should be close more toward a pick'em, minus 115 both sides. And if you're going to give me value on a 50-50 fight, especially with a guy that has power like this, I'm going to take it, man. And I'm going to put a unit on Abdul to win via knockout. That first round is going to be exciting. My heart's going to be racing, because if Abdul doesn't knock him out in the first round, he's going to lose. He's going to, that might be a live betting spot there, but Abdul is live for a first round knockout. After that, he's a dead dog in the water. He's going to get knocked the fuck out. And I just think it's worth a shot here. I'm not super confident, but I feel good. I think there's value here, especially via the knockout prop. I think we'll pull it up at the end of the show. But I like Abdul Razak Hassan plus 125 and Abdul via knockout. Lastly, we have Jessica Rose Clark versus Stephanie Egger. Now, Rose Clark comes in as I was surprised to see she was such a big favorite at minus 200. I'm seeing a little bit of minus 190s now on some books. And Egger coming in at plus 170. Now, this is another kind of example of a fighter having way more experience, even though their age is similar. I think Rose Clark's maybe 1 year older, but she has a good amount of more fights. I think 4 more pro fights. And she's 11-6. Rose Clark's 11-6. Edgar is 6-2. So Edgar is a judo master. She has a silver medalist in the Olympics as a judoka. She could just hip toss people like crazy. But I do think Rose Clark is better everywhere in this fight. I think she has better striking and is better of a traditional wrestler, meaning like she has better double legs, single legs, sweeps, stuff like that on the ground, transitions. Where I think Edgar is mainly in the clinch, where she'll find her success. She has trips, she has throws. She's obviously really good at judo. But I think, like I said, anywhere this fight goes, I really trust Jessica Rose Clark to win. And I don't see myself laying 2 units, 1.9 units to win 1 on her. So I'm going to go ahead and take plus money, actually, on Jessica Rose Clark to win by decision. Now, I do think this sees the cards, so if you're out there and you think the over is worth betting, I do like that. I do like fight to go the distance. I do like that as well, but I am going to go ahead, since I think Rose Clark is going to win the fight, but I don't feel confident enough to bet minus 200 because I do think Edgar, is a quality fighter as well. I'm going to take her via decision. Like I said, neither of these girls, well, I should mention earlier, I should say, between 8 losses between them, they've never gotten finished. Every single loss between these two women have been decisions. So they're durable. They're tough to finish. So I think Rose Clark wins the fight. I don't think Edgar can get finished. So it's leading me to take that plus money on Rose Clark via decision. So Martin, if you want to go ahead and pull up all the official bets, we'll go ahead and get into it. It's a little bit of a quick show this week. We got Abdul Alhassan Razak via KO plus 250. Then we actually have him straight at plus 125. Now that's a 1 unit play on both. We have 2 units on him, and we're gonna be riding hard for that knockout, guys. Next we have Nikolas Motta minus 150 against Jim Miller. We're gonna take the young, Dana White debutant. He's making his UFC debut against a guy that has 50 pro fights. It sounds like a casual pick, but no, man, I think he is gonna knock him out. I think Nikolas Motta minus 150, 1.5 units is a good bet. We actually go ahead and actually play another bet on that exact fight. We go ahead and take Miller versus Motta, doesn't go the distance, minus 120 for 1.2 units. Now, if Jim Miller goes out there and submits Motta in the first round, that would suck, but at least we'll hit doesn't go the distance. And like I said, Miller hasn't won a decision since 2016. It's been 8 years. Motta's live for a finish. I feel good about this bet. I think there's value here as well, because I thought the line was gonna be steeper. I thought it was gonna be more towards like minus 160, minus 170. So I'll go ahead and take that for 1.2 units. We actually didn't talk about this fight. David Onama versus Gutierrez. Gutierrez fighting out of AKA, but I do think Onama, to me, I'm not gonna mince words here. I'm betting on him because lately, bro, the Africans have been killing it in the UFC, and I think this is another African gem that everyone's sleeping on. 1.5 units to win 1. Next, we have Jessica Rose Clark via decision, 1 unit at plus 1.150 to win 1.5 units. That's another plus money pick. We got a couple plus plus money picks, this week. We actually have a parlay as well, Martin. We're gonna parlay the co-main and the main event. Now, Jamahal Hill minus 250, Kyle Daukaus 230. So if you're just chilling there on Saturday night and you don't care about any of these prelims, you don't know any of these fighters, go ahead and take the co-main and main. You'll have some action and it'll make it a little funner to watch. And I do feel good about these bets. I think both these guys are actually live for finishes. That's how good I feel about these bets. And it should make for a good card to watch. And I will say, our lock of the night, guys, for UFC Vegas 48 got canceled.
I wanted to make a video to address some of the controversy that's been going on over the past few days.
So we do not have a lock of the night this week. We don't want to force it, guys. We have never missed one in the show's history. We're 5-0, 3-0 on this year's picks, 5-0 in our history. And it was Rafael Fiziev minus 250 against RDA. I thought Rafael was, going to end him. RDA is ancient. It's time for him to get out of the top 15. And, I'm sorry about it, but, you're a legend, but it was Rafael's time. Fight got moved to another day. So no luck of the night. With that, that'll end our show. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, let us know what you think about our picks. It's real cool to see all you guys send me your tickets when you take our picks and win. Especially when you parlay them with other things. It feels good for sure. Hopefully it's another good week. We're in the green. We're up plus 12 units on the year, and looking to keep it going. Thanks.
Which way to go? If you want to smoke, say